What is good, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you guys a bunch of settings you need to be using or not using in Black Ops 6. This is very important. So the first one is corner slice. If you want to see what corner slice looks like, it's like this. When you go up to any corner, your gun kind of turns. It doesn't actually do this to your character model on the other from the other enemy's perspective. It just does it for you. So if you don't like this, you can turn it off. I personally don't like it, so all you do is go to controller, movement, corner slice, and turn that off. So when you go back to corners, as you can see, it's not doing this, because this would be the first COD game that really does that all the time. So make sure you turn that setting off if you are not used to it, because it could throw off your centering visually. It doesn't actually move your crosshair, but visually it can make you feel a little off. Another very important setting is going to be weapon field of view. You can kind of see it when it switches to wide right here, how much smaller your weapon gets. So it leaves more area to see more things on the map. If you're going to be aimed in, your weapon is still a little bit smaller, so you're just able to see more visually, which might help you get an extra kill, might help you see an opponent running across the map. So you can kind of see in the background right here how big default looks, because it's just bigger. And then if you go to graphics, weapon field of view again, go to wide, and it makes it smaller. It's a small thing, but this is like one of the things you want every little advantage you can get in Call of Duty. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored by Phorm, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually just ordered these jalapeno heat protein sticks, 20 grams of protein. They are my favorite protein sticks I've ever had. Please try this flavor. There's other incredible flavors as well that you can see, so make sure to give this a try. You absolutely have to try these. And this is your sign to get rid of those long basketball shorts that go all the way down to your shins. Get some good looking shorts that you can work out and exercise, just walk around and outside, whatever it may be. They have all different sizes, from the 5-inch inseam line shorts all the way from 7 to 9. So many different options and colors to choose from. I'll even guide you guys through the actual colors. They have a combat khaki, they have a navy, and they have a black. So you have multiple options to choose from. And all you need to do is scroll down to the comments or the description of the video. You can click this link. It will take you directly to the Phorm website, and there's no code attached you need to type in or anything. This link right here will make sure that code attached is already applied to whatever you order. And this is an awesome setting that we finally got in Call of Duty. So you go to interface, you go to HUD presets, which will be like your minimap HUD, and then you could change a bunch of different stuff. You change to square, because if you go to round, it's smaller. You go to square, or it's you see more on the minimap, and then you can change all this to just different stuff. But on scale, if you look at the minimap on the left right here, it gets bigger the higher you put it up. So if you are struggling to see the minimap and you want to see where the red dots are, where your teammates are, whatever it may be, the objectives, you can raise it up. I personally like to play on 103 scale, but there's so many different things you can customize in this that you should definitely take advantage of it. Just make sure you're on a square minimap with minimap rotation on. Now I'm going to talk to you about the most important setting in the game, because this has everything to do with movement, which is sprint assist. So if you hit right on your analog stick, it will take you to related settings. Oh, I hate when it does that. Hit right, related settings, and you go to tactical sprint activation. If you have single tap or you have double tap on, it's going to take you 2 taps to actually get the full speed of sprinting. Single tap sprint, one single tap will get you to the tactical sprint while sprinting. Then you hit single tap run, which ideally is probably the best one, because you get the momentum the fastest. So let's say you're trapped in a corner right here and someone's about to walk over here, you insta start sprinting and you're like ready to go. So you get the momentum to like a jump shot, or you get the momentum to slide cancel further. So that's probably the best one I would recommend using to all the to all you guys out there. So I'd probably say single tap run is probably the best, and then tactical sprint assist is like automatic tac sprint if you use both of them. So you're just going to be instantly going right when you hit your sprint button. You're going full speed in your sprint. After testing out a bunch of different audio mixes, I think the best one to use is Sucker Punch. It just makes everything sound the cleanest, the crispiest, and you hear everything so well. Originally I was playing on Treyarch mix, but it's just the basic default one. So I'd highly recommend giving Sucker Punch a try. You can let me know what you think, or let me know what audio mixes that you like playing on. But if you have not already, please try the Sucker Punch audio mix. I think it's right when I put it on, I noticed an instant difference. I was able to hear people a lot more, because a lot of people don't have Ninja on. So you're going to be able to get so many more kills while you are just hearing them run around the map. You also want to make sure your controller is not getting stick drift. So go to your dead zone inputs. I have mine on 4 right now, and I'm going to lower it to 0. Let's see if it's moving. Okay, see, it's moving a little bit. So what I like to do is I like to go back. Let's put it to 1 now. Now let's see if it's still moving. still slightly moving. So we want to raise it. Your right stick min, you can copy the rest of these settings, but use your right stick min till it doesn't move. This is different for every single controller, so you need to make sure you're doing it. So with 2, I think it's moving. Let's see. No, it's not really moving with 2. Okay, so we can keep it on 2 actually instead of 4, because this is a newer controller. But also when you go in the firing range, you can see how the aim assist works. You want to make sure you are playing on dynamic. You want to play with your target aim assist on, and then play dynamic. Dynamic is the best way to go from enemy to enemy. It's not super sticky to where it's hard to go from one to the other, and it might be for more advanced players, but you want to start at that level and just get used to it, because you're going to be getting a lot better from this anyways. So make sure you just put on dynamic. If you go to your settings, it should be advanced aiming settings, aim response curve type, dynamic, and then you can see the slowdown as you get. When you get closer, when your centering is good, this is how much your slowdown goes. You can see how much slower it is, and when I'm not aiming at anything. At a range, it's not as much, but at the 10, you could see how much it slows down. But if you're not aiming in, but if I'm aiming like this, right, aim in, you see how much the slowdown actually is. So that's why it's very important to center, and then also to strafe like this, because you could see just how like the aim is like sticky on the character and slowing down when I strafe. Yes, it is OP for controller players. I know keyboard and mouse players, but that's just how Call of Duty always is. Aim assist is strong. You want to make sure you are taking advantage and actually using the aim assist to get kills. You also want to make sure your screen refresh rate is always auto, whatever the highest one is, because if you have it set to lower, of course if your setup cannot handle, or your monitor or PC cannot go all the way up to 240, then make sure you have it on auto, whatever the highest is. For me, it's auto 239.760, so you want to keep it on that so it's constantly on that. But if you have a 360 hertz monitor, you can go up to that, or I know they're having like 480 come out, something crazy. But make sure your screen refresh rate is always the highest, and your display resolution is always on 1920 by 1080. You can put this on auto as well, or just keep it. It shouldn't change, but make sure you guys are always on your display resolution is the highest, and also your screen refresh rate is the highest it can possibly be, and you won't be getting your frames. You can also make sure you go to your NVIDIA control panel to make sure that you are also on 240 hertz. Now with ADS field of view, there's a couple different options. You have independent, you have affected. So with independent, if you are a slow paced player, and especially for how big a lot of these maps are, barring Babylon, barring Payback, most of the maps are pretty big, and you're in a lot of gunfights on head glitches like this. So if you use independent, you will get a bigger zoom to see further down the lanes, which could be a very big help, especially for these long range gunfights. But that's if you're a player that's going to be using an LMG, an AR, and like always play a long range. If you are a player that is going to be running around a lot and getting in the mix, you can use affected, because as you see when I aim in, it doesn't zoom my full screen in, or screen in. I just aim in, nothing else changes. So that's a big decision you have to make as a player if you're gonna be running around using affected, or if you're gonna be in a lot of long range gunfights trying to rip people off head glitches where all you can see is a little pixel. It's going to be harder. If you have independent on though, it will be easier to rip people off those head glitches, just because you are visually seeing more of them with the eye. So that's a very big decision to make. Give it both a try and figure out which one feels best for you. And last but not least, you want to go to your interface and then go to your gameplay HUD, go all the way down to Crosshair and make sure it's on static. You can see like the different types of ones here. If it's off, there's no crosshair. If it's on, it displays the crosshair indicator. The static will keep the crosshair fixed on the screen no matter what. So it's just good to have a crosshair, so you really are knowing where you're centering at, what you're aiming at, and what you're doing. So I wanted to actually show you guys the setting that I use. Crosshair, static, boom, that is all good. And another great setting you need to make sure you are taking advantage of is the colors of your minimap. So what you're gonna see, what you want to make yourself, what you want to make your team, what you want to make the enemy, everything. So you can literally go to switch to the enemy. If you want to make the enemy white or blue or purple, you can make it literally anything you want. But they also have a color palette, so where it's different automatically, to where it shows just different colors. You can go through these if you don't want to like customize it, because it could be a lot to do to customize it yourself and pick every little thing. Or if you're like that and you know what you want, and you're a very specific type of person who knows you want your team to, for some reason, to be red all of a sudden, then you could change to that. But you should definitely take advantage of this, whatever colors you want to see, whatever colors you like seeing. And if there's anything you don't like with like an enemy being red and your team being blue, then you can change that. So it's really cool customization that they've had in Call of Duty the past couple seasons, and color filters always help. If you ever get on the game and your game is looking very dull and not very much color at all, always make sure you go to your graphics settings. You're going to want to go to upscaling / sharpening. You want to have this fidelity FX CAS on, and you always want to have, you have to click square to hit show more. You always want to have this on 100, because if you do not have it on 100, your game will not look as crispy as it should be. So apply this, and now my game looks way better. That setting can randomly change sometimes, because I swear I just get on some days and it resets or something. That's one of the ones that always resets. And if your game ever looks like Roblox or Minecraft, make sure you have Fidelity FX CAS on, and you have to max it out. Always put it on 100. If it's anything lower than that, your game will not be at its potential of how good it could actually look. So Fidelity FX CAS 100 on. And the last setting is actually hybrid. I think hybrid is really good because you tap only to slide and you tap while holding sprint input to dive. So this is a very good setting, but it's probably going to take a whole video to actually break down just how effective it is and the best movements to use. So if you guys want to see a movement video where we talk about snaking, where we talk about jump shotting, where we talk about slide canceling, where we talk about you sprint, you can slide backwards even when you're sprinting like this. So there's a lot of different things to do. Even with like the dive coming in, you could dive off things, turn around, and be pre-firing. So a lot of different good movements to take advantage of. If you guys made it to the end, you're the only ones watching this. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see a movement tutorial and our guide of all the new movements that have happened in Black Ops 6 with the full release of the game, because I did one in the beta, but now there's so much more to actually use in the game that we need to redo it again. So if you guys want to see that, just let me know in the comments down below. If you made it to the end, you are a real one. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, my name is Attach, and I'm out. Peace.